Episode 6 then of Mastering Chefs, my little dive into the forthcoming Cooks Guild, and let's get on with the big man himself. Let's have a little look at the Captain Wellington. Right then, time for the captain. Wellington is a central midfielder. He is still that same speedy 6'8". This is going to be a very fast guild, tenderizer notwithstanding. Even roast an 8-inch sprint if he wants. Tack 5, alright. 3-6 kick, def 4-1, 4-6 influence, 15 health. Slightly squishier than a captain, particularly one that doesn't have any kind of defense tech, but by no means the squishiest. Non-momentous column on the row on the playbook: a dodge, a tackle, a push dodge, and a knockdown. Some nice utilitarian stuff there. That I must admit, my usual rule of what's the first two columns like on the playbook for both identity and counterattacks, I'm sort of extending that to the first three because of their guild rule of intimidation. I don't know if that's accurate statistically, but I am. So there. So he's got a double disengage on 3, which isn't bad for a 1-inch captain, but then again, if a 2-inch beater model goes into it, he's ruined either way. So little squishy, you're going to have to protect him. On the momentous row, however, 1 damage, guild ball, 2/3, 2 push dodge. Alright, spiking in at 3, not fantastic, but it is quite low, but then he's tack 5. So this is interesting for me, because it's kind of like looking at and going, he is not... He's not a butcher. He's not a butcher. Like, his momentous 3 damage is on a lower column than on Ox, who has it on 5, and has it on a... Again, Fillet has it on a 5. But, of course, both of those have inbuilt ways of increasing damage, and also they have much higher attack, so can hit it more reliable. Intimidation kind of offsets that. I need to see some maths, which I can't be bothered to do. However... Chef Special, whilst within 2 inches of target friendly models gain +1 damage to target, playbook, damage results, etc, etc. It's a tiny wee owner. Isn't it cute? Which is interesting because it is a tiny wee owner. It's only 2 inches, not 6 inches. And it's not a passive effect. He's going to have to spend influence to get this off, but it can be on any model within 4 inches and it stays up. Now this is really interesting, because of course that means he has momentous 2-on-1 effectively, a momentous 3-on-3, a momentous 4-on-4. That's more like it. That's much more like a butcher's sub guild, and with again intimidation makes it much easier to hit, and you can put it wherever you want with that 4-inch range. So effectively with his 8-inch sprint and a 4-inch character play, it's got a 12-inch range if you want. It's going to be interesting to see how that's utilised, as it will suffer from what I think we've referred to in the past as the hammer time problem, in that you're gonna want to go in with the guy, but then where do you put it, and I suppose if you've already got someone engaged, you can get to it. You then get in the hilarious situation of putting it on someone like Pepper, who has that 9-inch sprint plus where do they go, so you can really shift the Chef Special from one side of the pitch to another, especially with Spice's get over here Pepper. That's why she's got over here Pepper. Yes, put Chef Special on the Def 5 Ferret and then use Spice. That's not a bad idea, you know. That's not a bad idea. And then the intensifiers go mental. Wait, no they don't, because it's playbook damage results only, not character plays. Plays, fine. It doesn't impact intensify. Ignore that. Anyway, Momentous singled out on the second column. Nice. Now he's up to a proper tack 7. Admittedly, all of these things are going to cost him an attack to get off or an influence to get off. Chef Special can't be triggered from the playbook in the same way singled out can. But we're getting there. Nice. Okay. He has an active trait in the form of Scathing Rebuke. Take 2 damage, make a friendly model within 6, make a 2-inch dodge. Now that's really interesting, as it's a way of getting your models out of position. Admittedly, they are squishy. This is a glass cannon guild, which is probably why I won't be playing them. I don't do well with glass cannons. But It can be used to get people out of trouble. Similarly, it can be used to move around any one of these buffs that you're doing. So looking at Cinnamon with her Get Set Bake, and with Wellington with Chef Special, depending on where you put that, will then allow you to move those auras around, and that's interesting to me. Very, very interesting. However, the big one. Oh, it's a beauty. Oh, legendary play, Master Chef, 6-inch aura. Whilst within this aura, each friendly model may use a character play once during its activation without spending influence. That is massive. Like, the Master Chef turn is going to be horrible. Whether that's a free Intensify on Spice, a free Get It While It's Hot from Roast, a free Where'd They Go off Pepper, a free Get Set Bake from Cinnamon, a free Chef Special off Wellington, a free Ground Pound from Tenderizer, a free 1,000 Cuts from Shank, or all of them, because it's not, each one of those activations gets to use it, and there's a really nice mix of, unlike say Veteran Boar's Furious Aura, which is amazing, that's a hell of a legendary. There are ways around it in terms of moving things around. However, with the Master Chef one, a lot of their character plays are buffs, and it just makes them that much more interesting and more efficient on that turn. So, I mean, Wellington himself has a lot of really interesting stuff on his character book. That Chef Special, that singled out, that ability to move friendly models around, a reasonable damage track, especially once Chef Special comes into play. And I'd like to think, let's be honest, he's probably using Chef Special as often as possible. What I think makes this guild particularly interesting, just to look at them as a whole, they look to me to be a 1-goal 4 takeout team, and I think Sugar is going to, either Sugar or Shank are going to be your goal opportunists, and I really do mean that in the terms of opportunists. The great thing I think about Sugar is that she can contribute from the middle of the pitch with that 10-inch snapshot turret status. She only really has to be beyond the centre circle to be a goal threat. And with that 3-2 in cover, she can be seriously difficult to manoeuvre and to remove by your opponent. So whether you let your opponent have the ball until such time when you can get it back and make use of it, or whether you try and kill the ball, or where you'd kill the ball on this team, I don't know. Only really Pepper has any real high defense, and only Sugar has a particularly low tackle, and she in herself is only tack 4. For me, this looks like a team you're going to kind of try and bunch up and around the centre of the pitch, exploit those intensifies, and to wear down as much of a team as possible whilst slowing them down and controlling their position with the burning condition, and then use models within the team to finish them off. But that's me. This is not my playstyle, I freely admit. It looks fascinating. I am still really reminded of the Season 3 Vet Catalyst Intensify builds, and if you thought the unmaskings from Fangtooth was a pain to deal with, I suspect that Spice kicking off all these intensifiers in the centre of pitch is going to make your head spin. So there we are. There is the Cooks Guild in its entirety. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini-series. I shall see you on the next one with whatever guild happens to be released next. And as ever, happy, handy viewers, handy listeners, such as you are. I need a better outro.